So let's come back again. OBYR. I can create it again for C, that is capital vendor. Now it will be capital vendor. Now in this case it will be capital vendors. Advanced to capital vendors. Now this is fine. Click the commitments warning. Now once that, you need to save the settings first, then only we can move to assign the account. So click on this account over here so that we will be able to assign the ledger account to this. So once you click, it asks for the chart of account. You need to put your chart of account, enter. Now over here you need to define your assign your reconciliation GL. This is the normal reconciliation GL which we assign in our vendor master when we create, so that we can check with this. So again, so you can see there is only one vendor normal vendor reconciliation created. This is what I will be taking as a reconciliation account. And now moving up to the second screen, second column, it is a special GL account. This special GL account is known as alternative reconciliation account. So this is what we'll be taking over here as capital vendor, the ledger we just created a couple of minutes back. So we created this over here, advanced to capital vendor account. This is what I will be taking. So the indicator is C, which is for advanced to capital vendor, and against that I have assigned the GL, advanced to capital vendors. So this is what you just need to do. If you have got number of reconciliation accounts, you can assign more reconciliation accounts over here, and you can even assign different GLs or even same GL accounts to others as well. So that is it. You can save it, and your special GL indicator as advanced to capital vendor has been created. Similar you can create for revenue vendor, where you can go and you can create a new special GL indicator R, where you can fill the description advanced to revenue vendor, and then again you can tick mark the commitment, and now you can move to accounts and you can assign the ledger account. That is what you can do. So this is what we have done. We have assigned this indicator, and this indicator is over here C, which has been created. Now we will be moving to the next. So we have already defined the alternative reconciliation account for vendor down payments. Now moving to the next screen is the testing, that whether this indicator works fine or not. So we need to test. So there are two way outs for doing these down payment. First is with down payment request, and the second one is down payment without request. The first we'll be doing is we'll be creating a request. As in the initial part we discussed, down payment can be done in two way outs. First is by creating a request, and then that request can be processed further for making the advance payment to the vendor. And the second process is there is no request, it could be a direct advance payment from the accounts department to the vendor. So first we'll create a request for the first method, and then we'll see how on the basis of the request the advance payment are done to the vendor. So to create the down payment request, we need to go to the transaction code F-47. So moving on to the SAP screen, before starting with the request, let's see which vendor we will be using and what are the different transactions in the vendor ledger. So FBL1N. Now we can have a look on the transaction as an open item part. So will execute the report over here, and you can have a look. There are only two transactions as of now. One is of $1,000 and one is $108. So total outstanding on the vendor is $1108. So now moving back, let's begin the process of testing. First we'll create the request of down payment with F-47. So moving on to the screen, F-47, enter. Now in this request you need to select the date. So suppose I take the date over here as 12/11 and here as well a day back, and you can put a text over here as a document text. Request for advance payment. Next what you need to do is you need to select the vendor over here to which you want to make the down payment request. So it will be the vendor code which has been selected. There is two options. Either you can select it from over here if you've used it earlier, or you can go to over here and you can search your own vendor to which you want to process the down payment for. Continue. System seems slightly slow on the side. Maybe the server could be slow. So you can select the vendor over here, that is the vendor code selected. Now you need to select over here the target special GL indicator. Target means what is the special GL indicator by which you want to make the advance payment. So if you want to make an advance payment with maybe the indicator could be C or maybe R or maybe something else, whatever you have defined. So if you want to see the list, you can go to this and you can expand the list for down payment indicators. So what are the different indicators? We can have a look. So as of now there are different indicators you can see, and from which indicator you want this advance payment request to be processed, that is what you need to select. So if you want to make the request with the indicator there is no R, if you want to have the indicator A you can use A, but as of now we have did the configuration only for the indicator C. So right now I will be using the C indicator, but you can define your own number of different special GL indicator and you can use them alternatively for the testing purpose, how the request is created and how it is processed further. So I will be selecting the indicator C. So once you select this indicator C, then you need to go to the new items over here. So when you click onto the new item, the system will ask you certain more details about the request, like how much advance payment you want to make. So suppose I want to make the advance payment of $20,000. Then you need to put the business area over here. Then you need to take the due date. So due date, if you want, you can take the same day as the due date as well. Now you don't need the payment block because I don't want to block the payment right now. So that is what. And next you can fill over here is the text. Suppose for example I am making advance payment, so I can write the text over here as advanced against PO. So this is what you need to do, and once you do this you can directly go and you can post this document. So once you post, your request for down payment has been created. So there is a warning message. You can enter this screen and you will generate a document. You can see the document is generated with this number, and if you want to see this number again, you can go to this document display. So you can see that there is only one line item has been created and there is no second line item, means this particular request will not impact the accounting, because it does not impact any of the ledger account, because this is a noted item. So whenever you make any down payment request, the down payment request never affect any of the accounting ledgers. It is termed as, that is why it is termed as noted items. Noted items means basically it is a noted note that the advance payment has to be done. It is a request for advance payment, but the request does not impact the financials anywhere. So this is how, that is why there is no debit and no credit in it. Now moving on, once you have made the request, now I want to see whether this particular down payment request will be impacting in my ledger account or not. So moving on to check my vendor ledger account, we'll go to FBL 1N. Now you can see this screen and you can execute it over here. Again you will find that they are just the two transactions which were earlier on the screen, as it is same, because these are normal transactions. But yet if you want to search for how many down payment request has been generated in the system from a particular date range, you can even look for that. So for that you need to go down, scroll down, and you need to take this normal item off, and you need to take this noted item. Noted item means the down payment request. So you want to see the noted items, you need to select the noted items tab, and then you will execute this report. So when you execute this report, you will find that the down payment request which we just made a while back has been reflected over here. But again, this does not impact your accounting balance or the ledger balance. It has nothing to do with the preparation of the financial statements. So moving back, we have created this down payment request as of now. We'll move back and we'll see how the down payment or the advance payment to the vendor can be processed on the basis of this payment request. So moving to the next transaction, that is F-48, we'll execute /n F-48, or even if you want, you can have a separate screen in which you can process your down payment request. So moving to over here, F-48, enter. So you can see over on the heading, post vendor down payment is already the status. So over here you need to select the date. Now you have to take the date over here, then the document type, company code, posting date. By default these things have been selected, but in case these things are not there, you need to fill those fields. So moving to the next, you need to select the vendor account. Then you need to select the special GL indicator. So the special GL indicator, if you don't know, you can again go and you can open the list and you can select out of it. So as of now what we are using is C. So we'll be selecting C as an indicator. So now you need to select the bank account. Selected the bank, then you need to select the business area and the amount. So the amount is $20,000 we have selected, and we can put the text over here as advanced against PO. So this is what you need to fill the details on this particular screen, and then you can move. Now I need to select the request because I am processing this down payment on the basis of down payment request. So to select the request on the basis of which this advance payment has been made, you can go to this request over here tab, and you need to click on this request. When you click on this request, all your requests will be reflected. So right now there is only one down payment request in the system, but if there could be number of other requests, that all requests would have been reflected over here,